Hello and welcome back to Learn Linux TV. In this video, what I wanted to do is give you guys a walkthrough when it comes to creating instances on the Linode platform. It's a great cloud provider and it's what I use for all of my cloud services and I highly recommend it. Now, to be fully transparent, Linode used to be a sponsor of Learn Linux TV, but they're not anymore. Ever since they were bought out by Akamai, they don't really sponsor very many YouTube channels anymore. But even though they don't sponsor anything, well, the thing is, I actually do like the platform. And what I'm going to do in this video, again, is show you the entire process of setting up an instance on the platform. I'll show you how to spin up a Linux instance, and you can use it for tutorials if you're learning. It's always good to have a lab server that you could use to experiment with commands, or you could run your entire infrastructure on Linode like I do. Either way, what I'm going to do in this video is show you the entire process of setting up an instance on the platform. And as far as why I like Linode so much, it's a very capable platform. It checks all of my boxes and I'm able to do everything that I need to do on the platform. Spin up servers, create templates, block storage, object storage, domains. There's all kinds of things you could do on Linode. And it all starts with creating a Linux instance, which is what we're going to look into today. And you know what? It's time to dive in right now. So let's check out the process of setting up an instance on Linode. And what you're seeing right here is my actual Linode account. This particular server is one that I created earlier today when I recorded a tutorial, so this is just a disposable Debian instance. But what I want to do right now is actually walk you through the process of creating an instance, so let's get started. And the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you're within the compute section, and you'll click on Linodes. That's where I am right now. And what you'll do is click the Create button. And then you'll choose what in particular you want to create. You can create a Linux instance like we're about to do. You could also create images, set up a Kubernetes cluster, a node balancer, basically a load balancer. You can add a domain, spin up a database. There's all kinds of things that you can do. But in this video, we're going to focus specifically on Linode instances. So what I'll do is create one of those right now. And once you do that, you'll arrive at this screen right here, which is where you'll choose the individual settings for your instance. And the first thing you're going to do is choose the region where your instance resides. We can see some of the options right here. And basically what you're going to do is choose the location that's either closest to you or closest to the customers that your instance will serve. For example, if you want to set up a website that's going to be accessed more so on the East Coast, then you might choose one of the options here that'll be closest to that particular region, such as this one here, which is labeled as US East. But on the other hand, if it really doesn't matter where the connections or customers are coming in from, for example, a global website, then you can simply choose a region that's closest to you. In my case, Atlanta is going to be the closest one to me geographically, so that's the one that I'm going to go with. So I'll click on it, and now that's selected. And what I'll do is scroll down. And the next thing we're going to do is choose a distribution that we want to run. But what you could do is drop this down, and once you do, you'll see all the distros that are supported by the platform. And there's quite a few here. So if we scroll through the list, we'll see the ones that are available. But anyway, what I'll do is just randomly choose a Linux distro. And in particular, what I'm going to do is go with Alma Linux 10. So I selected that, and then I'll scroll down. And the next thing we're going to do is choose a plan for our instance. The first tab is dedicated CPU, and that type of instance is going to be more expensive than most of the others. For example, right here, we see that the cheapest instance is $36 a month. However, if we go to the shared CPU tab, we can see that the instances are a lot cheaper. And by shared resources, I don't mean that one server is going to be able to access information from another server. But when it comes to the underlying hypervisor, well, it is going to share resources, so it is possible that you might get some slowdown every now and then. But on my end, I haven't actually encountered that. In my case, what I'm going to do is just choose a cheaper instance. I guess this one right here will be good enough for me. In fact, I think the 2 GB instance is probably the lowest spec instance type that I would recommend. When you get down to 1 GB, you're going to start being constrained when it comes to memory. But the thing is, I think 2 GB is great for a demo, so that's the one that I'm going to choose. We'll get back to the video in just a moment, but first I wanted to let you know about something really awesome. I'm offering a 30% discount for courses and certifications over at the Linux Foundation, so if you want to level up your career, well, now is a great time to do that. The Linux Foundation helps support the Linux and open source technologies we rely on every day, while also offering respected, industry-recognized certifications that can help grow your skills and validate your expertise. If you're ready to take the next step in your Linux journey, then use my link and discount code to save 30% or more on Linux Foundation training and certification programs. Not only will you be investing in yourself, but you'll also be helping support Learn Linux TV and the educational content I create for the Linux community. And as a special pro tip, the Linux Foundation offers a free Introduction to Linux course, so that way you can check out how their courses are structured before you buy anything. And then, once you're ready to take your skills to the next level, you could use my discount code to do so and also save some money. So boost your Linux career and get certified. And my discount code for certifications through the Linux Foundation makes it even cheaper to do so. And with all that out of the way, well, let's get back to the video. But anyway, we'll scroll down, and here we could choose the label for our instance, which is effectively its name. The name will default to the distribution as well as the region, but I don't really like this name. What I like to do is give the server a fully qualified domain name. But in this case, this is just a demo server, so what I'm going to do is just call it Alma Linux Server. I think that's simple enough for this example. When it comes to tags, you can add tags to your instances. I have a number of tags that I've created within my environment over time, so what I could do is just apply any one of these tags to the instance. And this basically helps you organize your instances better. When it comes to placement groups, I'm not going to go over that in this video, but it is something that I might consider for a future video if you guys want me to create a video about that topic. Scrolling down, what we're going to do is provide a password for our instance. And this is the password that you'll use to access the instance. So what I'll do is type that in. And it's important to have a good password. And according to this, I did type a good password, which is pretty cool. If you have an SSH key associated with your account, you could choose that right here. But to keep things simple, I'm not going to choose that option this time around. Scrolling down further, we could choose to encrypt our disk. And by default, this box right here is going to be selected. And if you choose this option, encryption is handled automatically for you, but it is optional. In my case, I'm going to deselect this. My basic rule of thumb is that if an instance is never going to have any personal information on it whatsoever, then it really doesn't matter if it's encrypted. But if it's going to be a production server, well, I do encrypt those. But since this is just a demo server, I'm not going to worry about it. Continuing, if you scroll down further, we have some networking options here. And by default, the instance is going to be available on the public internet. Now, unless you've created VPCs or VLANs, you're not going to have the ability to set those up. It's possible that public internet might be your only option. Now, it is recommended to create VPCs and VLANs. It's beyond the scope of this video. However, I do plan on going over other features within Linode in future videos, so you could always let me know in the comments down below what you want to learn, and maybe I might make a video about it. Now, continuing, if we scroll down even further, we have the public interface firewall, which is where we choose the firewall for our instance. Now, if I drop this down, I've created a few different firewalls here, and I plan on showing firewalls in a dedicated video about the topic later on. But the basic idea is you can create a number of firewalls, and in each one you can allow access to individual services. But essentially what you do is attach a firewall to an instance, and then the rules within that firewall will apply to that instance. In my case, what I'm going to do is choose no outside access. That's a firewall rule that I created that, well, doesn't allow outside access. This is for instances that need to be accessible only by me. And I use this often when I'm creating tutorials and things like that. But in your case, you could choose whatever firewall you want to. But when you're first starting out, you probably don't have any firewalls yet. So whenever I create the firewall video for Linode, then you'll be able to check that video out and go through the process of creating a firewall for yourself. And you could do that by going into the firewall section right here under networking, or there's a helpful link right here if you want to create a firewall directly from this page. Now continuing, optionally, you can enable backups if you want to. And what this will do is create a backup for you regularly, automatically. That way, if something ever happens to your instance and you need to revert to a previous backup, you could easily do that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that if you don't select this option, you won't be able to create manual backups either. So if you want backup support at all, then you'll definitely need to make sure that you check this box right here to enable that option, which is what I'm going to do. But just keep in mind that enabling backups does increase the cost of your instances. But anyway, what I'm going to do is create the Linode instance, and it'll take a few minutes for it to finish provisioning, and then I'll be right back as soon as it's done. But as a quick aside, I just want to call your attention to the fact that there's a link down in the description below that'll get you starter credit towards your Linode account if you're starting a new one. Now again, Linode is not a sponsor of Learn Linux TV, but I do earn affiliate credit on that link. So if you are already planning on creating a Linode account and you haven't already done that, then you could do so through that URL to help support the channel. Obviously, it's not required, but if you do use that link to create your account, then I would really appreciate it. But anyway, the instance is being created and it should be available shortly. And in fact, it's already done. As we can see right here, it shows the status of running. And there's two different ways that we can access our instance. One way is we can click the three dots right here, and that gives us access to something called a Lish console. And if we click on it, we'll get immediate console access to our instance. And that's actually what we have right here. And what I could do is log in directly to my instance through the Lish console. The default username when it comes to Linode instances is typically root, so I'll type in root. I'll press enter, and then I'll type in the password that I provided during the instance setup process. And I've typed in my password, so I'll press enter. And now, as you can see, I'm logged into the instance. Now the thing is, when you create a server on the Linode platform, you'll have the root account, but you won't have a local non-root user. And I do recommend that you create one. I also recommend that you update your instance as well and go through a few best practices. And in fact, I've also created a video that goes over everything that you should do when you first create an instance. So if you want to check out that video, I'll leave a card for it right about here. But anyway, as you can see right here, I'm logged into the instance through the Lish console, which is pretty useful. But the other method for accessing your instance is using plain old SSH. And to do that, all you have to do is grab the IP address for your instance. You see mine right here, so what I'll do is copy it, and then I'll switch over to a terminal, and here's mine. So to log into my Linode instance via SSH, I simply type SSH. The username on Linode instances is again root, then I type @ and then I paste in the IP address. And there it is. So what I'll do is press enter. I'll say yes. I'll type in my super secret password. And let's see what happens. And now, as you can see, I'm logged into my Linode instance via SSH. And at this point, you can begin using your server. You can use it for educational purposes. Maybe you need to spin up servers as you go through the tutorials on this channel. It's very useful for that. Or maybe you want to set up a blog, a Nextcloud server, or something else useful, and you can do all of that on Linode. So at this point, your creativity is your only limit. You can set it up exactly as you want to, build it however you like, and then at that point, you'll have your very own Linux server configured and ready to go. And with that said, we've reached the end of another video. In this video, I showed you the entire process of creating a Linode instance on Linode's platform, and I hope it helped you out. If it has, then be sure to click that like button to let YouTube know. Also, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to Learn Linux TV for the latest in Linux. I release new Linux-related content each and every week. But anyway, with all that said, thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.